Welcome to another episode of Nothing's Ever That Serious. We got a sign.
Yep.
And we got an update.
Updates for the updaters.
We got an update. We just had a recent episode. We had a guest on, a hypnotist.
Yep.
Great episode. A little weird.
Interesting experience, to say the least.
A little different than, that wasn't mine. I'm not taking credit for this one, but you just want to do an update episode just to kind of see how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Because you guys were worried about me.
Very worried, actually.
You kind of want to know how I'm faring after.
Yes, first and foremost.
This is recorded the day after.
Yeah.
That's how worried we are. We called it an emergency pod.
I guess I'll give you my overall feeling.
From the top. How are you feeling play by play right now?
If I'm being honest, I'm a little sore. I think in those types of situation, they say I now see the importance of foreplay
and consent.
And consent.
Okay.
Yes, because I feel like my mind was penetrated, but I wasn't quite ready. So the entranceway into my mind is a little bit. It's
fragile.
It's fragile right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess we can start by we all kind of produced this show. Guru, you kind of had the lead on that production. Where was your head at when with that one?
Saw the hypnotist. I was like, yo, let's have the hypnotist on. At first, I actually hit up Jay. I didn't even bring Drew into the equation. Time came closer to the show, and I was like, I don't like that method of bringing, because a hypnotist that can be an intimate experience.
Yeah.
So part of me was like, I don't really want to bring that onto the show and Drew not be aware.
Right.
So I brought him into it. I was like, hey, this is kind of the idea. He'll come on. We'll have a good time. Maybe one of us get hypnotized, and it's gonna be funny.
I do have a confession. You know how like people, when they think that they're punking somebody, but really they're getting punked. What you don't know is, aside from doing hypnotherapy, he also does speech pathology. And you're talking a little better today than you normally do. Everything is crisp. Everything is coming out clear.
Yeah.
Your S's, your TH's.
We're laughing, but
say Super Soaker Sunny.
Stop.
Sunny sandwich.
Because we are.
We're serious today. There's okay.
Yeah, it was a great idea. There was a lot of benefits that came from it.
Agreed.
And he was a good candidate because he's been doing it for a while. The interview was good. I thought the interview was interesting.
I agree.
Just in terms of like him knowing his stuff.
Yeah.
So we're interviewing him. Everything's going well. And going into that episode, I'm glad you told me that you were going to hypnotize me, because I kind of had a negative stigma about hypnosis.
Okay.
So if you didn't tell me and I just came into the episode, I probably would have been like, nah, I'm not doing it. But even still, I said in the beginning of the episode, I said, I don't know how I feel about it. It's you said intimate, but
yeah.
I don't know.
You would say invasive.
I don't know if that's how I would describe it, having gone through it and come out on the other end. It was a little intimate. He was whispering in my ear. But yeah, so I was explaining to him. I said, there is a negative. I'm not the only one who feels this way.
Yeah.
And why were you guys not open to doing it?
I'm tell you something. I wasn't going under. So that was
from the jump, knowing that he was going to come on. You weren't interested in.
I won't go under.
Why?
No way. Because like I told him when he was in the room, I said, yo, I don't want to go into the multiverse. I don't want to play with Spider-Man. I don't want to play with Doctor Strange. I want to stay where I'm at.
Okay.
And I don't want to relinquish control of my own self.
But he said you would be most.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
But he did also say you got to cooperate to go under.
Okay.
I would have fought it, man.
But I tried to fight it too. But you saw me. What if he came up behind you, or what if you're hypnotized and you don't even know?
He says he has guerrilla techniques that can just take you out.
He said he's one of 5 people in this earth who can get you from across the street. So
But we knew Jay wasn't going under.
For sure.
And I knew I wasn't going under.
For sure.
Nothing that man could have said would have made me receptive.
Why? What's
to trying it.
Why? So why would you bring someone on knowing?
Well, this is the thing.
That says a lot about how y'all feel about putting me in certain situations.
I knew one, you enjoy trying new things, and you would be you would be open to the experience.
The most likely.
Do you say that based on the interracial episode? I dated white women, black women, Asian women, and you just stay within your race.
Pretty much.
So you're gonna stay in this. Okay.
Yeah, that. You also had some dreams in previous episodes that also show us that you're very open.
That's true.
You're not a stranger to touch from
trying new things out. So
yes, I would definitely say you were the perfect candidate for that.
However, I also was like, I don't know that, which is why I brought you in on it. And then the truth of the matter is, while I knew you would be the most open. I think that was a good episode, and if you didn't go under, I wouldn't have cared. I think it still would have been a great episode.
Right.
So I brought it to you with the mindset of, hey, we're bringing a hypnotist on. You probably be most open. If you're down, let's do it. And I was like, you could have, on the episode, I wouldn't have cared if you didn't get hypnotized. I don't think it would have
If you was like, I'm good.
Or helped. I think it would have been funny, actually, for him to be like, all right, who wants to get hypnotized?
And we're like, nah, we're
hell
good.
No. That's another episode of that series.
Like and subscribe.
So it's like, it wasn't,
I think it was kind of going that direction, though.
I think it was.
Because we have a clock, we have a timer, because certain guests, he actually had a hard out. He had a flight. So he only had a certain amount of time. So
and we can actually see, like, we have a list of questions. Drew has a list of questions. He got to the end of his list like 3 times and kept flipping it back and over and just coming up with more questions. And me and Jay were a little confused. We were like, where are all these questions coming from?
Right.
Because this was the hypnotist section, but he just... He kept looking at the paper like he didn't see that note. So
like, yo, you skipping over the demonstration.
Right. Yeah, so I just, I was engaged. I think it's a topic that's interesting to people.
Yeah.
And, we did the episode. I got hypnotized, and we all were kind of figuring out how to process it. Like, how did you feel?
I expressed regret.
Regret in what regard, about me getting hypnotized, or how the hypnotism happened?
Yeah, how it took place, because
should I tell them how it happened and then you tell me your...
Yeah, you go first, because I've been holding off a lot too.
Okay. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, y'all two were out. I was kind of on the fence a little bit. I even opened up the episode saying that these two guys are too chicken, so I'll probably be your subject, but I'm not sure yet.
Right.
And then the more, like you said, the more we talked, and I told him, I was like, I don't know, the more I'm hearing about it, the less...
You wanted a hamster, a test dummy first.
Yeah, and I was like, my palms are sweaty. And he even said, let me see your hands. And then he did a little voodoo on my hands, and I was like, what'd you do? He's like, I'm just
trying to see where you at.
I'm just trying to see something.
Actually, I do want to show you something really cool, though.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, I'm
nervous.
That's why I stopped looking at him.
No, there's nothing to be scared about. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me see your right hand for a second.
Oh, no.
Let me see your right hand. Let me see.
You feel the sweat, right?
I know you are. You're all sweaty.
I told you I'm nervous.
Yeah, because you are a very convincing guy. So if you wanted to use your powers for evil, I don't put it past you.
Oh, I
kind of look like an evil John Madden.
I could do it with ease. I'm one of like maybe 5 guys on the planet who could do it at this level.
Wait, what'd you look at with my? What'd you look at with my hand? What was that?
I just wanted to see something.
Okay.
Hey man, you look a little different already.
Just the vibe, I guess, and just like the subject matter.
It became eerie.
Yeah, it wasn't,
because I didn't feel a negative energy from him.
Yeah, it wasn't a negative, but it definitely wasn't like, this is going to be a fun, loving experience. This is going to be a little bit different.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to do this. And then, I guess he felt like he had built a rapport with me, having connected with me and telling me about my childhood and wanting better for me. He was like, hey man, if you try my methods, you're going to have honeys on your arms. You're going to have a 6-pack. And, those aren't necessarily my goals.
Yeah, you really don't care about that. But,
I'm in
Oh, okay.
You know I'm embracing my dad bod.
What you say about the spell Guru had? What?
It's that back door.
You know I'm embracing my dad bod,
Yeah.
and you know those things are kind of superficial to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you know I wasn't really being sold on that message, but I'm always about pushing your mind to you know, to new places. Like you said, I am open to exploring new ideas and different concepts. But this one did feel a little eerie to me.
Yeah, because you could have just did some shrooms.
And he was like, I see that you're feeling weird about this.
Yes.
Let me show you
Why you shouldn't
feel
be
bad.
skeptical.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I don't want to be hypnotized, but show me a little sample. I thought he was gonna give me a little.
This is sample mode. We thinking it's a sample, and technically it was. But after the sample, there was no bridge. It was sample
and the
full course, sample course, appetizer course,
and the time or the way that it kind of happened, it took us all a little bit off guard. So from my experience, I'm sitting over here, and I said, I don't want to try it. Guru, try it first. And Guru was like, no, I'm out. And he was like, let me just show you a little something, and it's gonna make you feel better. Take your headphones off. I'm scared. Guru, come on.
You're not gonna fight.
Look,
Come on,
he
Guru,
already grabbed your hand. It's a wrap for you.
I'm just worried about
All he got to do a snap. You done.
Don't let them do anything funny to me.
I'll show you why you shouldn't be nervous.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to show you a quick little thing on how you say why you shouldn't be nervous.
Okay.
All right. So, take your headphones off.
Okay. So I took my headphones off. He said, you know, he put me in a little, what do you call that? It was like a little
Chinese finger trap.
Chinese finger trap. You said you used to do that.
We used to do that as kids, man. You just put your fingers close, and then we just go like this, and then your fingers just move close.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah, this is just a little illustration, just to kind of be like, oh, okay, yeah, that wasn't that bad.
I thought he was gonna be like, how'd you feel about that?
Yeah,
Like, right.
and then be like, yeah, so hypnotism is a little bit, you know, but if you don't want to try it, that's cool, you know. But the next thing
Press start to continue.
next thing I knew, I'll describe it. I don't remember much.
This is why I'm gonna stop laughing, because
I don't remember much.
Yeah.
I do remember. I'm seeing him. What did he? I don't know. I'm still under it a little bit. Like, how fast did it happen? It was like, how fast from me being in the Chinese finger
seconds,
trap,
bro.
It was seconds, right?
Seconds.
Because he came over, he was waving my eyes, and he was like, what was he? He was like snapping and counting. I don't remember exactly what he was saying. But even going into it, I was thinking, okay, they probably want me to be the test subject. If I do it, I'm not going to fight it, but I'm also not going to... like, I'm not gonna act. Like, I'm not going.
If it ain't working,
If it ain't working, I'm gonna let him know. I'm like, I tried. I like, you know, I wasn't, you know, but I didn't even know that it was happening. Like I said, the time from the Japanese finger traps to being in a state where all I could hear was like his voice in my head. So I guess at that point, I'm starting to go under, and I was like, ooh. I thought he was just showing me a sample.
You were like, ooh.
But I'm starting to, like, it was just a tip at that point. If I may, like, I'm not drawing any comparisons to anything, but it was just like, it was, I felt like we were going somewhere that I didn't know we were going. Hold on, people are gonna think we're joking. This is serious. And I'm not making light of, I don't even know if I'll keep that in. I'm not. No, I just want them to know that we don't think that's funny. But I'm in a phase where I'm trying to assess what's going on. I can't really react to what's going on because it happens so fast. And then the next thing I know, you know, I can't even like speak. I can't really move.
Deeply more relaxed. Just focus on the sound of my voice. Try to memorize every word I say. Feel your eyes becoming more and more locked, tighter and tighter. Going even deeply more relaxed now, letting yourself go deeply more relaxed. Using the power of your imagination. Picture yourself on an elevator. See the elevator doors close. See the numbers on the top of the doors. Numbers go down. You go deeper. Sounder 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just go deep sleep. Deep. Some thousands of times deeper.
But I felt like I could get one more I felt like I had like a few more seconds to kind of like stop it. In my mind, I was saying, Jay, help. No, I was. You know how like you think that you're doing something like in a dream, like maybe you're yelling but you're not yelling, or say because you about to hit the big 3-0, and you a big basketball player, and you used to be able to dunk. I'm gonna give you props. You used to be able to dunk, right? And you used to have your head at the rim and all that. But as you get older, it's just you don't have the same.
No, I can still do it.
But you know what I mean. In your mind, you might be like, "Oh, I was up there," and everyone's like, "You felt that way, but you was not as high as you thought you were."
Okay.
So I thought I was saying, "Oh, yo, I don't want to do the J. Kemp, help me."
I don't even.
I was like, y'all help me, but really, he already had control of my mouth at that point. So I guess I was just saying, Jay Kemp, and I kind of turned my head a little bit, and I looked over my shoulder, and I see Jay had his camera out, and then I looked to my left, and Kemp had his camera out, and you seen people get criticized. They're like, man, there's this tragedy happening, and what's the first thing that people do? They take their, they take their phones out. So I guess I'm like crying out for help. I can't really cry out, but y'all was trying to put me on World Star. Y'all was thinking about the clout. Y'all was like, oh, this is what we wanted in my mind. And the next thing I know, what did I do? I hit the.
It got really real at that point, and I didn't.
You said you felt weird in your heart.
Yeah, it was the transition was to it just
the transition of the transition of you going for your phone or
because like initially I'm like, okay, this is part of the episode. This is gonna be funny. We're gonna participate, and like as it was going on, man, I'm just because I'm sitting right beside you, and I'm feeling like I'm letting something happen,
right? That
I wasn't all the way in on, like morally wise,
right?
I didn't think it was malicious or nothing like that, but I was like, just the way that it happened, I'm like, just seeing this in front of me, it just
like we skipped the part of, all right, go ahead, all right, I'll try it, but I trust you. Don't do anything crazy with me. I was just in it. Yeah, and you were like, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna watch.
Cause like I'm processing it as it's happening. Yeah, and then like I'm going down. Like, I was just getting really warm. Like I don't know if this is, it was.
Do you had a similar experience? Because people always say that when you get in traumatic situations, they're like, I would have did this. I would have did this. So both of y'all were in a situation where you could have saved my life and stopped me from going under this spell.
So here it is,
and y'all didn't save me.
So it's funny because.
It's funny.
Before you start,
the truth of the matter is, directly after the episode, me and Drew talked for a while. We kind of just sit there and we analyzed it, and we talk all the time about how we approach traumatic experiences and just life and laugh about it. We were laughing our asses off, but at the same time, we were having a serious conversation.
Right,
and you could tell that both me and Drew were super uncomfortable, and we were being very honest about how that experience made us feel. So like even us sitting here laughing and joking, like you're talking about, you don't want people to think certain things are a joke. Like really, that's how we handle things. And I know certain things I can say, certain things you can say, but we were laughing our asses off, but we were like, Drew just got hypno-raped. And we really, you're joking about the tip, but we were like, that was crazy. And we didn't know how we
didn't, for comedy to happen, there has to be like a build-up. And there was a build-up to it because we were describing how it happened because I was like, we kind of led him on a little bit. And I was giving him clues.
I invited him.
I invited him. I was giving him clues. I was like, maybe you can hypnotize me, but I'm not sure. I'm scared. I'm scared. Is it going to hurt?
Yo, I'm done.
Oh, my goodness. This ain't even funny. Yo, show the camera your hands.
Excuse me, guys.
All right, Episode done.
over.
Rich, I'm sorry. Rich, I'm under
Not
your.
funny.
Why did that just happen?
What the heck? This is our last episode.
I don't know. All right, so for our audio
Is it because it's hot in
for
here?
our audio listeners,
For audio listeners, Rich just caused Jay's nose to start gushing blood.
Gurus, I'm going on a sabbatical.
Welcome to the final episode of Nothing's Ever That Serious. Oh my goodness,
gosh.
man. It's going down.
Take that away.
Yo.
Oh my goodness.
All right, well, Rich, I'm looking for a co-host.
Yo, that's crazy.
Instead of having to travel to 300 different cities,
How did that just
you
happen?
could just come sit next to me. We just bring guests in. We just hypnotize them together. You just show me the way.
I'm sorry, Rich.
Should we do one of our, we haven't done one of our dun-dun-dun-dun-duns in a while. And we're back. You okay, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you. Apologies, fellas.
Allergies or
I hope so.
hypnogies?
Please.
But where were we? Yeah, so anyone who knows, we hate giving these disclaimers. We make jokes, but I think we were talking about me and you were having a conversation.
Just how we process things. And like we're laughing now, but it's like
we built up to you were saying that I didn't give consent.
Yeah, you didn't give consent.
Didn't consent, but I was leading him on, and then you said it. You just asked me a question. You were like, "Do you feel like you were hypno-raped?" like you weren't trying to diss nobody. You weren't trying to make light of any situation.
Right.
And it was it's weird.
You don't even know if there's a term for it.
It's the thing. It's the weird thing of like, because it was something that we had not ever experienced. It was so weird.
There was nothing to attribute it to.
We just literally found some way to define it. And it's like, not that we're comparing that to that at all, but it's just like, it was just a way to like process and speak through it.
Because then I called you after me and him talked for a long time. I called you and you felt a type of way about it, and you were concerned, and you were like, how do you feel? And I was kind of describing it to you like, dang man, I felt
bad.
Yeah. And you felt bad. And then I said, yeah, me and Guru talked about it, and he thinks I might have been hypno-raped.
And Jay was talking about no, we had a serious conversation.
I'm trying.
No, because he was like,
Can you say that? You can't say that on YouTube, so we're gonna have to bleep it.
Because Drew was literally like, I could see why he would feel that way. I did lead him on. I did. I mean, like, it was all this stuff, and like, like, it wasn't like I said no. And literally, we were like, I literally said, I was like, no, there are so many females in the court who would be saying like similar thing, and it's like, so then we start talking about that and had a serious conversation about that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of jokes, but Guru, he felt bad. You felt bad too, but Guru was like, he apologized to me. He was like,
you said you felt weird in the moment. So in the moment, like he's in the Nigerian finger trap.
I was in the Phoebus finger trap.
Phoebus finger trap.
We didn't. None of us thought the hypnotism was going to happen. At that point, like I said, I was complete. I didn't think Drew would go through with it, and I was completely okay with him not going through with it. As
I
well
told you,
as
he was telling me he was whispering sweet nothings to me.
Exactly.
Why you laughing?
I'm trying not to, man, because
All right, I ain't gonna make jokes at this part.
It's weird because at that point in the episode, like I said, you saw us have a disagreement, and I think he was a great guest. Like, I loved his story and all that stuff, but I was kind of
after it happened.
At that point in the episode, my tone had switched on hypnotism. I wasn't necessarily a fan with it, but that's you coming up with you're determining what the best person is.
Yeah, exactly.
So what makes you think you're good enough to do that?
Well, because from 30-something years of practice of doing it.
okay.
So
Like,
30
if that
years
was-
of practice makes you able to just look at someone and say, this is what's best for your life.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay. I would disagree.
Yeah,
but
I've been-
no,
yeah,
no,
Yeah,
like,
no,
not trying to be like, you know,
I get
but I
it.
got you. Yeah, so I was still in the episode participating. If Drew did it, he did it. But like, who cares? So now he's sitting over there. He's in his Australian finger trap, and I'm like, oh, whoa, let me move the camera. So I got up and start readjusting stuff and like
Producer mode,
turning the
yep.
sound up. Like I'm not even paying attention. I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking over there. I'm seeing stuff. I did not hear. I did not know what was going on. And then I turn
I will
around.
give you that. I will say when I was in the when I was in the Jamaican butterfly trap, you said hold up because anything that happens in the room or during the podcast, because we're also visual, you just wanted to capture that part.
Yeah.
You didn't know that I was.
Well, you weren't hypnotized at that point. Y'all were
You didn't know that the seance had commenced at that point.
Yeah.
You just right.
y'all were in, you know, the finger scissoring missionary trap, and I was just kind of like trying to get the cameras moving.
Right.
So then
right.
I turned over, and you were slumped. You were gone. Like it was
Right.
like, you know, sleep, and he
Right.
was out.
I was out.
And in that moment, like literally, because I was already feeling like, I'm not really with this, like that pit, and like I don't like this at all. Like I was like red alert mode, and instantly I literally almost said, like I truly was about to be like, yo, hold up, what are you doing? We didn't talk about that. He wasn't ready for that. He was, and it's weird because in that moment, then you're thinking,
Was this before
This is
you
before-
decided to do landscape mode or horizontal? Like
it's weird. It's weird because it's like, because this is the thing.
Cause I'm in the do you watch Stranger Things? I'm in the upside down. I'm in the
You with Vecna.
I'm in Vecna. I was up in the air like this, like stretched out like this in the air. So y'all thought I was just y'all see me in the room slumped like this, but I was slumped I was in this like dark room.
You was face to face with Vecna.
Yeah, and there was a hole, so I could see the podcast above me. So I'm looking up at the podcast, and there's like the little cotton things, the little clouds. I'm like, Guru, Jay, like get off your phones.
He had his hand on your forehead. And you were just
Yeah,
So you're floating.
I'm floating, and y'all filming.
I'm in mode where and
Did
it's,
you get good footage?
it's funny because
Hope it
you
was
say
worth
I hope it was worth
we
it.
know this is the thing. We know Drew would do close to anything for this podcast. We know Drew.
I done got dumped
It's
over this pod.
Yeah, it's this weird thing where it was like there were so many things going on in my head, and I hate to say this, I literally feel horrible. Like, but it was kind of like I was like, Drew, like literally, it was like after he comes out of this, he's gonna be like, why'd you do that? Why'd you start that? Why'd you get the footage? So literally, I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, capture it. Plus, like we even talked earlier
That makes
about
sense.
how like we knew it was a weird thing, like hypnotism and all this stuff, and our whole thing is making guests look good and this, that, and the other. And it's like, at what point are you like, oh, I don't like that? Because like I knew at that point, like I said, I turned something off, so I knew I had internally a separate opinion than you two. So I didn't know if I was acting out of that separate opinion, because we had a little tiff. So I didn't know if I was acting out of me being like, I don't kind of like how you roll with that and use it. And you guys might have not been there at all.
That podcast, the audience wasn't getting a lot of how we were feeling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't know where anybody was at. And then we can even say this, like Drew, for all we know, could have been like, I don't like saying this, but it's like, I'm just trying to think of how we were thinking, but it's like, we didn't know if he really was against it. So in that moment, I'm just like, I felt really uncomfortable, and I didn't know if I should interrupt or not. Like I'm reading it for myself now, and I'm like, all right, he's just making him do dumb stuff right now. Like it was like, I was like, what's the harm? So then I'm like, all right, and I'm looking, I'm like, let me get good footage. I move over there, pull out my camera, start recording, and I'm just like, all right, I'm in producer mode. But I felt like completely
there was
dirty.
There was different parts to because like he said, he was like, when I'm done with people, they don't remember it. And then remember, he was like, what do you remember? And I was like, I was like, yeah, And then I couldn't remember, and then you was like, "You don't remember taking those shots?" And then I was like, "Oh yeah, I do remember." And he was like, "Yeah, if you coach him, he's gonna remember." And then he was like, "Don't coach him." And I was like, "Dang, what else? Wait, what else did we do?"
Do you remember anything?
Yeah.
So you were.
Wait. Ask like this. What do you remember?
What do you remember?
I was listening, and as I was getting deeper
See,
like I remember the room being hot, and then like as I started,
That's why I always do it. I always ask, "What do you remember?" Because they don't remember any of it. That's pretty awesome.
After it got hot, what happened after that?
See, if you coach them, they'll be able to remember, like remember in a dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Always ask, "What do you remember?" Don't say, "Do you remember doing this?"
Okay.
Right? Because that's that coach. That's
I wouldn't have remembered until you said that.
Wow.
Yep. You see that? I'm telling you. See, that's how cool that is.
But it was two parts to it. It was the silly part where he was like, take some shots.
Exactly.
But then he got closer and he was like, you're gonna reach your goal weight. You're gonna get that body. You're gonna be more attractive.
And then I start feeling
you're gonna follow. You're gonna follow me. He said you're gonna be open to hypnotism. Anytime you hear, he's like, I could put you back under just like this, 3, 2, 1, and you back.
And then he was also like, you're only going to be receptive to my voice.
And he did say that. He said you're only going to be here's a clip if y'all haven't seen that part.
At the count of 5, come out of hypnosis. Remember, I can always hypnotize you again very easily, simply by counting backwards from 3 to 1. Snap my finger, saying the word sleep. You're going to instantly go back to end hypnosis easily, only when I do that, not anybody else. But you love the feeling of hypnosis. You love the way it feels, and you want to do it again and again. 1, starting to emerge out of hypnosis. 2, becoming more aware. Mandy now 3, becoming more alert. 4, opening your eyes. 5, fully alert, fully aware. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, full all the way back, feeling magnificent, feeling on top of the world, feeling very well rested, feeling really good.
Wow.
And that was what we got in an argument about earlier, was the choice. So to me, once that started happening, I really even felt like kind of weird, where I'm like, I don't like this at all, because now you're speaking stuff that he definitely didn't give you consent to do.
I don't know. I mean, if we gotta battle the Demogorgons or the what are they called?
You got it.
Somebody's gotta. Y'all weren't willing to step up and to battle the Demogorgons and Vecna. Somebody's got to do it.
In the time that's lapsed since it happened, I even told you earlier, the thing that's helping me is you not being as, because I keep asking you, how did you feel about it? That's how I process stuff. You'll never know. I can get run over by a car. You come over like, how are you? And be like.
And even though that's the way he processes stuff, and you say that's not his responsibility. So like, it sucks that sometimes, like, maybe because that's who he is, he may process it that way. But honestly, I was sitting downstairs once he went upstairs when we had our long conversation, and I was like, I can't imagine what's going through that dude's head, because if I was in that scenario, I would be tripping. So it really was this thing of like, what did we just allow or stand by for, or like, where is he at?
Yeah, I was processing it. I will say I was like, because I said this on the episode too. I said my family's real religious, and I told them, I was like, the guys are thinking about having a hypnotist on, and you know how they feel. They're gonna be like, don't play with that kind of mind control. Like, just don't play with that stuff, because you never know. You could, because some people got caught in the upside down world, didn't they? So I could have been left down there.
You wanna know something else weird? As he was doing it, and I didn't like this either, a lot of his hypnotism was like things where he would like, oh, you would get drunker when you hear laughs, or the more you would laugh. Like, it was bringing us in on it, because honestly, the only reason I laughed the entire time was for the show.
Okay.
It was like, so
y'all participated in
but it's just like I didn't think that, like I said, I was already removed from it. I didn't think any of it was funny, so it's like, I'm laughing to make a good show.
But let me ask you this, producer.
Yeah.
What were you expecting? You were like, let's bring this hypnotist on. You thought it was fun and games. Like, you thought it was going to be like, oh, like bark like a dog.
What kind of threw me off was actually hearing him kind of speak on it, and kind of his personal interpretation or experiences with it. Because he spoke from a manner of, he knew what was best. He could kind of I don't know. It was just, it didn't feel like it was fun and games for him. It felt like something entirely different.
If he was saying, he did approach it as in like, it's a serious thing and I hold the power.
I can fix you.
I can fix you.
And we had that conversation of how do you know what's better? And even if he would have been like, honestly, I don't, this, that, and that. But it was just like the stance he took and kind of the approach of it really turned me off to
Google literally
process.
asked, he was like, so you think you know what's best because you've done this a whole bunch of times? He was like, yeah.
And it kind of felt like, it kind of felt like it was like you're playing God in a sense. And like, I don't think everyone approaches it that way. So he's in a career where he constantly is told that he's wrong, he's incorrect. People probably think he's crazy and all this other stuff. Not saying he is, but that's what people think.
Right.
So I think you have to have a mindset of people being against you, and you have to separate yourself out, and you have to kind of put yourself in a place of, not I'm better, but like I'm different, I'm separate, like, and I have to think differently and move differently than people. And even like we said, he's in the room, he's selling to you, he's working in a way that it's like we're at two different places, and I'm trying to like work around. And
you're talking about him, and you're going back to your old ways.
So, but look, the sacrifices I'll make for the truth.
It's like, let me tell you how I really feel about Rich.
You put some back doors in there.
You better apologize to him.
So no, for real though.
Come back to us. Come back to us.
And then I mean, he has other things in him, like
come back to us.
You know. But I don't know. I will take the fault on that of like I wasn't as well researched.
You didn't do your research.
And because I looked into it, but I guess I did allow something on the show that I didn't fully understand.
Yeah, it's on me too. Yeah,
we talk about all our guests afterwards and kind of not in negative ways, but just kind of how they fit our brand and our story. And even I don't know, like it's weird. How do you like?
But sometimes
judge
you gotta,
that stuff because we all agreed that a hypnotist would be a good episode.
Yeah, everything surrounding it, man. I was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was just the segue into when it happened. It was just like I'm juggling some of the same thoughts. I'm like, Andy, he's a knucklehead. So when he first was just doing the playing around and stuff, I'm like, okay, this fun.
When I went down, what did you think that I was?
That's when it got real. No.
Okay.
No. I thought you was playing along until you dropped.
Okay. But I could have been playing along.
I don't know. You would have got me because.
Yeah, because looking at your footage, there was a point where it was like, when I heard you gasp, you were like,
bro, that's why I feel bad because me processing it in real time, it was like, it just happened, right?
Right.
And I'm like, you went under.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was right beside this dude. if he decided to be on some real like crazy stuff and.
You think you would have had the same experience if I had been like, all right, do it to me. And then like you saw me drop down and he's like,
yeah.
You still would have felt the intensity of it?
Post, I wouldn't have felt like bad that it went down because you consented.
You probably,
but when you dropped,
like, that's crazy.
I would have been like, it was just eerie. It was just like,
okay.
Even if you, I guess if it happened further away from me and it was a show and stuff like that, but you were right beside me.
Okay.
I saw your body weight just drop and I'm like, what the like
I was already gone at that point.
Man, it was crazy.
We've explained in how we felt, I guess, at this point throughout. I don't know, in the best way possible. Like, because to us, I mean, us explaining how we felt long as hell. But if you watch it on that episode, it's probably
fast.
We haven't even watched it back. It's probably gonna be like 2-3 seconds where you see me go here and then there, and you're gonna be like, wait, he did all that. Like it felt so slow. So I'm curious for you, how was time? How was like all this stuff? Like
it happened fast.
What about being in or under?
I don't know, cause y'all asked me on the episode, and
I okay with South Mississippi bird trap, and then from there,
I would say that part felt the longest.
Okay.
And then once I closed my eyes, it really, there wasn't much. Like I remember being like, guys, this isn't funny. And part of my fear too is like the longevity, like talking to him about like
the loops and
like you got to come out of it, or like how long you stay in it. That's kind of like, I'm like, I told him I went through a breakup, I had some things going on in my life. I'm just now getting to a place where I'm feeling good. I didn't want to be under a spell for I didn't want to be under a spell for
It looked uncomfortable to me. Like, I don't
it wasn't you're in his control.
I looked at your eyes and I was like, you guys have seen.
And he touches you a lot too. I don't know if you realize
you're grounding. He's grounding his grounding.
Because like he's like, he's doing the snap
to keep you in. I guess.
To keep you in, and then he's also like touching you to keep you in. And then at one point, I think he noticed I was
just do the grinding beat on your chest.
He had me in a TikTok trend because I was like
renegade. But you remember Get Out when he's sitting in the chair, he goes into the sunken place and you see his eyes and like they're big and like crying, but it's like he's not really crying. That's literally what Drew looked like.
Yeah, and that honestly, like, I'm still processing it, so we could do another update, but I would have liked to have been like, nah, I'm good. It ain't nothing.
Okay.
So,
and maybe it isn't.
So here we go.
Maybe it's in my head.
It may be. So this is the thing. So this experience took place. You came out, and now we have to wrap and finish the show.
Oh,
what's in your head?
Just that. Finish the show. And it was hard. It was hard to finish the show too, because at that point, like, I have this duty to this podcast, but now I have a new master. And then Guru starts talking.
He was sitting over here licking his lips, and I was kind of like,
Guru starts talking down on my master.
And you started to defend him.
Yeah, you were like, oh, you really think you have the power? And what did I say? I said, shut up, you beta male. Yeah. I said that, didn't I?
You did.
And I was like, what makes you can speak amongst us?
It's funny because I don't think he got a lot of our jokes.
Wait, hold on. Let's rewind. Because I was 1,000%, like, that was a joke, right?
Now that I think about it,
it wasn't a joke.
I joke with you all the time.
I took it as a joke, but still,
I've called him a little biatch on this show.
Yeah, but when you said that, I'm like, this is a hilarious joke. You didn't.
No, I looked over at Rich, and he went,
that was
get him. He said get him.
He said get him.
That was the funniest joke to Rich. Rich was dying.
Oh, really? Because he
said, I gave him that one.
He did, because we were trying to make him laugh the whole time.
He implanted that one.
So if I get some ancillary, like, collateral benefits from it, he's a little full of himself now. He's just getting more confidence.
First of all,
hey, all right, it's all
you
good.
don't talk the rest of the episode. Why are you talking to us?
It's working.
So
you beta? Why are you talking to us, you beta? You're not in this club.
That's hilarious.
You did think that was funny.
Because it's funny, we're ending now.
Wait, why are you talking?
Wait, who said you could talk?
Did we say you could talk?
We're ending the episode. Like, I wanted to tear in. I really did. I wanted to be like, yo, that was so weird how you did it. And then it's like, it's funny because we're all thinking the show. And then I'm thinking the time. And then I'm like, Drew. And I feel bad because I feel like, we talked about this afterwards, and you said that's what you would have wanted me to do. But in the moment, I'm trying to think for you, which I hate that I did. But it's like, Drew needs me to end this out strong. We don't want any guests looking bad. We don't, And it's like, we're okay challenging guests, but it's not like, yo, we'll bring you up here just to trash you. It's like, it'll be like opposing views. Like, we, put them side by side. But I wanted to come at them, and I did very slightly, but I didn't really say what I wanted to say.
And I was trying to get a feel for Rich, kind of see how he felt. And like I said, I did ask you for a reaction, and then I could see you were over there, fumigating. And I was like, I think he felt it too.
He definitely felt it.
He felt it.
Because his left side was turning purple. Because Guru was cooking it.
I could feel my face quivering. It was like I was trying to keep it.
Because you didn't hide it. Yeah, you didn't hide it well. He was like, what did he say? He said, we're going to get you too.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. He'll be back.
And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't the hypnotism. It was just the way it happened.
Yeah. is the way it happened. Because everything else, man, like you said, it was a good interview. He said some, you know.
He said, yeah. He said some things that that might not age well.
Right. But it was cool. Like, he was a good, you know.
Or
good,
have already expired.
Right.
Right.
Oh, you know, he's probably been doing this routine, like, this, to a T from day one.
Right.
And so yeah, man, like he was a cool guy and stuff like that. I didn't feel like he was a bad dude at all. It was just that,
Say that
process.
Again. Say it louder.
So even though we joking, Guru felt terrible. I felt bad. I told you on the phone, I was like, I kind of felt bad watching it happen. So again, in real time, in person, I do want to apologize.
Oh, thank you.
And moving forward, there's no more thinking show first. If anything happens in this room,
no, that's true, and that's literally what I came to as well.
No,
but finish saying what you were saying, Jay.
Yeah, if anything happened in this room that don't sit right in our spirit,
I'm willing to do whatever it takes for this show to.
It's tough because, like we said,
if it takes me being trapped in another mind,
nah,
cause they're not gonna help us. They barely got us to 1,000 subscribers.
We're just now getting there.
It took us 4 years to get to 1,000 subscribers.
4 years in Vecna.
And it's like, they're gonna watch this, you know, they ain't gonna, you know,
they gonna share it.
They don't appreciate it. I'm not even in my right mind.
Right.
But truly, we're gonna have a lot of guests on this show, and anything that happens in this room is no longer show first. It's just, I feel like we have a platform and we have a responsibility. Like, it's funny, we haven't rewatched it, so we may rewatch it ourselves and feel different. But when you watch it, you may not see that on us. You may like see the way we react and move. And I mean, I think it says something to how we handle stuff out in the real world too. Like, not just in the studio. Of just like, when you feel some way or if something ain't sitting right with you, like, don't sit on it. Cause it's crazy. Like jokingly, we tied it, you know, or how we express, like we were talking about hypno rape and stuff. But it's like, there's situations out there happening in the real world all the time. People are getting taken advantage of, like, and we see this happening, and, you know, you got a responsibility to talk back. Cause like, luckily we're sitting here and only like all it cost is Drew meeting Vecna and selling his soul. But it really could have been much worse. And it's like, there are situations out there where it is much worse. Right. And where, like, me and Jay feel like crap, and like, you, who knows how you feel? I mean, you feel like crap. So it's just like it's such a small situation, but it's like fun. Stuff is happening in the world. So
I was at a party. I was taking shots, you know. Continue to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
Jay with the jokes, funny guy. Drew with the blah blah, telling crazy stories for a lifetime. Kemp got the wisdom for him, like nothing's ever that serious. And if you don't listen, then you're delirious. Bro, you can't say that. Why not? Because we're live. I just said nothing's ever that serious.